morning, everybody. Welcome. It is Follow Me Live. And brothers and sisters, has it been a week? I don't know about for you, but oh boy. It's time to have some fun, man. Turn up the radio, dance a little bit, do something. There's some negative energy in the air. Maybe it was the debates. I don't know, man. We gotta shake that stuff off. Come on. I've got Michael Connor joining me from YouTube. Good morning, my friends. All right, from Nigeria. Look, we got people from all over the place. That's cool. Hey, do me a favor. Oh, my aunt, Becky Hall. Now, I lovingly call her Warden. She's in the audience. Good morning, Aunt Becky. So tell us, everybody, where you're from. I know, look, there's a lot of stuff going on with everybody. There's the COVID stuff. I don't know if you saw, apparently President Trump and the First Lady have COVID. So that's news. We had a presidential debate this week. That's news. Not really going to talk about politics per se, but anyways, it's relevant no matter what side of the aisle you're on. But also some good news for those of you job seekers who follow me because of Project Help You Grow. Unemployment rates are coming down. Now, we can debate a little bit what the actual true numbers are, because there is always in every set of data points that you look at when it comes to labor, there's underreported for people who maybe have forced retired, so they didn't really want to retire at the moment, but they're not going to look for a job, so they're technically not unemployed. They're retired. So there's that. There's also people that have like bridge jobs, or what we would call underemployed. And those are people that, they have something, but they want something more or more substantial, right? They need something else. So those numbers do skew the overall unemployment numbers. But the last numbers I saw, the last published report for the United States from the labor statistics is 8.4% from the Census Bureau. So if you go, and look at those, and then you can try to do some ninja math and figure out what the real number might be. I've seen reports from some of the more liberal media outlets who, in this case are going to try to make it look higher, of course, because it's the role that they play when the conservatives are in power. And the opposite is true when it's the other side, right? So anyways, I'm not picking on anybody for what they're doing. Just saying those numbers are coming in at about 11%. So somewhere between 8.5% and 11%. But anyway, you slice it, that's a lot better than the 14% that we were at. So it's coming down. If you're interested in seeing those numbers, those actual numbers, I made a post yesterday on LinkedIn. I'm going to actually go to it and pull it up, because if you are interested in unemployment, which I think a lot of you are, this can help you. It's on my profile. What you want to do is just go to my LinkedIn profile, and then you can go down to the activity section, and it was my last post before this one. So I didn't make a ton of posts yesterday. I've actually been kind of taking a little bit of a break from posting as much as I was. The activity on LinkedIn is off, right? For me, at least, it's off. So I'm not wasting all my time on LinkedIn when LinkedIn is not working right. And that's just the bottom line, whether LinkedIn likes it or not. They need to learn how to fix their website without killing everything. But that's another conversation for another day. But anyways, here we go. I'm going to share this real quick. So yeah, that one. Okay. So here's the post that I'm referring to. Now, unemployment rates are falling, right? And if you're interested, if you come down into the comments and find my comments, the very first comments that I put up, and you will have to scroll because I got, I don't know how many comments I got. I didn't look, but anyways, I got a few comments. So, but if you come down, I have in here links to 3 different articles. So I have a very conservative one, a very liberal one. Here we go. This is the one, if you're looking for the liberal counterpoint, right? So CNBC, they'll tell you that it's more like 11%, which is fine, right? Even if it is 11%, that is not the end of the world. But the one that I'd really like to show you guys, because it has a great chart. Here we go. I'm going to open this one up, and I'm going to show you this one, because this one has a very cool chart. So here we go, right? So you can kind of see where things were before the COVID stuff happened, right? We were right there at 3 and 4%, which is cool. Now, again, if you are to augment the numbers, as I've suggested, with the underemployed and those who are officially retired now but wouldn't have been if they didn't lose their job, these numbers do skew higher. Everybody in in the economic world would agree that there's a million different ways to skew numbers. So, but however you skew them, let's say it's up 2 points, it's up 3 points, whatever it might be, it's still trending down, right? It was good, it was bad, because this is when the COVID hit the economy. April of 2020 is when really everybody started to lose their jobs, at least in the United States. Globally, that happened a little bit sooner. But in the United States, these are United States numbers, by the way, for those of you who are coming from other parts of the world. This is for the US economy, not the global economy. So I don't have a good data point set for the globe for this. So anyways, I find this interesting. I think it is, look, I want to look at you guys now. This is what I think this means, right? Regardless if you want to argue about a point or two, and I get it, there's a valid case for it. I'm not even saying it's invalid. I'm just saying that however you slice the numbers are still trending in the right direction now. That is good news. Take the politics out of it, man. You guys get too excited about politics. This is about people getting back to work. Are we where we need to be? Well, no. Again, if we look at the numbers, even by this chart, we're at 8.4% now, and before we started, we were at 3.5%. So we still have a lot of work to do. But I will take 8.4 over 14.7 for unemployment rate any day of the week, and I hope that you guys will too. It's really bad when people root against the country because it doesn't fit their political objectives. You gotta stop that, right? We're Americans first, or you're from wherever you're from, and you're that first. In my opinion, people should not root against people succeeding just because it hurts their political motives. You have an election, you want to win it, I get it, but you still can be happy for America that people are getting back to work. Don't think about America as a government, think about America as a people, right? That's, I think, maybe where some of these anxieties come from. And certainly if you watch the debate this week, you have good reason to be all tied up in a knot, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, because I'm going to tell you, as somebody who's not in love with the Democrats or the Republican parties, I mean, I'm really not. I am conservative, but I'm not a Republican, because I think they act like a bunch of big babies and they can be mean. And that was on display in the debate. But you know what? Liberals can be really snarky and elitist. And that was on full display in the debate too. There was a lot of angst to go around on both sides, if we're being intellectually honest, which is the only thing I'm interested in, right? I'm not interested in, having sycophants. And, some of you guys don't like what I have to say. I totally get it. And that's okay. Look, if we challenge each other and we help make each other better, it isn't yes people that I'm looking for, right? I want people who can have civil discourse, who can have competing ideas and can express the merits of their idea and do it without getting vulgar and getting nasty. So I say the only people who won, well, there's nobody who won that debate. We all lost, because whether we like it or not, one of those two guys is going to be the leader of the free world for the next 4 years. And based on that debate, the prospects don't look good. Now, I don't think either of them are dumb. I don't think any of them are incompetent. I think that both of them need civility lessons. And certainly I think that based on previous knowledge. One of them has a better philosophy of governing, in my opinion, than the other. But again, that's not the point of the show. So I want to have fun. I always say all of this, just to say this. I understand why people are frustrated today. I understand if you've had a bad week. I've had a rough week, right? I take this stuff seriously. I really do. I take everything I do very seriously. So I want to help you. I want to help you laugh. I want to help you have a good time. I want to have some fun. So sorry if I brought the mood down, but I'm going to help you hopefully raise it up. So let's do this. I did something actually did it on LinkedIn and I did it on Facebook, which is not normal for me. I usually do not post the same thing on Facebook that I do LinkedIn. They are completely different platforms. And because they're completely different platforms, I have found that posting the same thing is usually really not a good idea. But I'm going to pull this up because I'm going to open up another session of LinkedIn. I did this on my main page on Facebook, and I did it on my company page, Bowman Digital Media. I did that. I did this post on that. But if you've seen it, it's the fun boat. I'm pulling it up right now. So why it's interesting to me is because they're polar opposites. Do you ever wonder, like, people say, well, Facebook isn't LinkedIn and LinkedIn isn't Facebook, which I think is pretty obvious because they're named something different. You've got to type in a different address or open a different app to get there. But I think what it is there's some snarkiness there going like, keep your non-business stuff off of Facebook or LinkedIn. When people don't understand that, actually, I don't agree with that. And here's why. Because LinkedIn has changed and has morphed into person to person as opposed to business to business. It used to be, go back 3 years, and you never saw people posting personally about themselves or their hobbies or anything else. It was really a marketing department dominated posts. So you'd see basically what people would put out for PRs or press releases throughout the stream. And then you'd see, employment opportunities or recruiters making posts, but not a lot of personal posts. Not something from Ira. We wouldn't have Follow Me Live, none of this stuff, right? But in 2017-ish, it started to change. And it started to change where you saw more people taking the front seat as opposed to the business. And now it's pretty much people dominated. Companies still do post. I post for the companies I represent almost every day, if not every day. But the type of post, like I have not issued a press release post in the last 2 months for any of my clients, not for my businesses, not for my clients' businesses. It's more personal stuff. Did one the other day for Joe Stepke, Joe the finance guy, about, jewelry and what's the most expensive jewelry you've ever bought for your significant other. That was a business post. So they are kind of more similar than before. But the personality types on the platforms are still, I think, polar opposites. So check this out. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I had a fun vote. I did a little bit of a photography session for my wife. She's in Cincy. And so we're like, okay, let's see what the people think, because we had 2 shots. We actually had more. And we had already picked the one that we liked best before I did this fun vote. But we're like, let's see what the people think. So we have this one, and then we have this one. Now, right now, I am on my Bowman Digital page, Bowman Digital Media page on LinkedIn. And the clear winner on LinkedIn is this one. If you go through the comments, all of them basically are for this one. Now, we go over to Facebook. I do have a business page, but I put it on my personal page. So same vote, right? Which one you like? And the results are completely different. Completely different. Everybody voted for this one. If you scroll through these comments, bottom, it's like 3/4 for the ones on the No, that's my wife doing something else there. But 3/4 of these comments are going for this one, right? The opposite one. Now, what I noticed, because I went through and I looked at the ones who said top. So let me just scroll through real quick. I'm going to show you. So top. My sister. Now she's an anomaly here. Top. Okay, Curtis and I connected on LinkedIn. Sheila and I connected on LinkedIn. John and I not connected on LinkedIn. My daughter not connected on LinkedIn. Jenna not connected on LinkedIn. Actually, there's a lot of tops here at the end of this thing. Okay. LinkedIn. So anyways, I guess over half of the ones that rank for the top are from connections of mine on LinkedIn. So let's do this. You guys want to have some fun? Which do you like better? We're going to call it the top and the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to pull this one back up. Okay, this is the top one. This is the bottom one. Which do you like better? Do you like this one? Now, the whole point of this one is the product's out of the case. You can see the individual wax. And then there's this one, which the whole point, she's actually creating these as a package deal, right? So this is what she's trying to quote unquote sell with this picture, which is why we liked it better. So I totally understand where people, when they don't know the complete objective, go like, hey, this is better because I can see here the individual cases. But the people she's showing this to already know what this is, right? So you would have to understand that. Also, this right here is a Scentsy product too, by the way. So Scentsy does a lot of different stuff. But anyways, let's have some fun. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? If you respond, I will show your answer here in the I don't know what the question was. If Biden was elected, supporting American companies and boycotting companies like Hawaii continue. I have no idea. How would I know? I mean, I'm. Let me look you guys in the face here. Let me tell you something 100% to be true. If you believe what people will tell you during a campaign, statistically, if you go back through the history of politics, a lot of it is unfulfilled. They're just saying what you want to hear. Look, I'm going to pick on Democrats for a second because Democrats like to champion that they're for minorities of all kinds and they're going to make things better. But do they actually? Like, what do they do that actually makes it better? I know they claim to want to. They campaign on it all the time. But what do they actually do to make it better? Right? Now, I'm not going to let Republicans off the hook too, because I am a conservative. And why I don't consider myself a Republican is because there's a lot of things that I have voted for people for, specifically with regulations and taxes and things like that. And I'll tell you, I'm going to give you an example. George Bush, not the first one, the second one, right? The most recent one. I voted for that guy. I was excited to vote for him because I thought he was going to be fiscally conservative. And you know what he was? He spent more money than Bill Clinton did. And it wasn't even close. Bill Clinton is somebody I didn't vote for, but he actually governed fiscally. Now you can look at who's in the House and who's in the Senate at that time. It does matter. But the fact is they campaigned on things that they didn't fulfill. So if you want to get into Trump and Biden, I'm not really going to go down that rabbit hole, right? Because, frankly, I've got people on both sides of the aisle in the show. And I don't question your intelligence. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think that the thing that most people have forgotten how to do is to look at somebody who has an opposing point of view or a different preference than you and not look at them with vitriol hate. You can't hear an opposing idea without getting pissed off. And that's a shame, right? We should be able to talk to people who have opposing ideas, who have a different objective, or even a different philosophy on how to achieve the similar result, and not get irritated just because somebody has the audacity to be different. I love to hang around people like that, as long as they can keep it professional and be nice. That's how we get better. What happened to the world where you're offended if somebody thinks different than you? That's not a good world to live in. We need to grow some thicker skin. We need to allow people to have their own opinions, because frankly, if you were in a company that was only filled with you, the company would most likely fail, right? The same is true with me. We need other points of view. We need other sets of experience. So we don't want to all be lemmings, right? To your question about Biden, I have no idea. You could ask me the same thing about Trump. I have no idea. I can tell you this. I am impressed with, I don't like the demeanor of Trump. I'm going to be a little bit hard on Trump, and that's fine. I'm going to be hard on everybody because I'm just going to call it like I see it. And you guys can respect me at least for being honest, because that's all I can be, right? So here's the thing. I hate the way Trump uses his Twitter account. I hate the way he bullied over Biden in the debate. And not just for that. That's just symbolic of the way he treats a lot of people, right? He's brash. But you know what? He was like that before he was elected. We had a choice in the primaries last time. And, that's who we picked. And then the country voted for him. So some of the onus of this, that, you know what I mean? Like there's some blame to lay to the voters. Now the voters have another chance to make their pick this time. And if they like Biden better, then they should vote for Biden. That's the way it should go. If you don't like a candidate and you like the other candidate more, then vote for the other candidate. Sometimes you have to vote for the lesser of two evils, or what you perceive as the lesser of two evils. I'm sure that neither Biden nor Trump are actually evil, right? I'm going to tell you something. The one that I really, who irritates me the most is Nancy Pelosi. I don't like a lot of what she does. I live in California, so I see the hypocrisy that maybe you guys aren't seeing in the national or global media. I see it. And I used to work in San Francisco. Let me tell you, that's a nasty place. I used to have to walk over syringes to get into buildings. I used to have to walk through urine and feces on the ground. Tent cities are a real thing. Like there's millions of homeless people in California alone. Millions. Not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, millions. I've seen where they live. It's deplorable. And then when we talk about the number of veterans that are in there, it makes me want to vomit, because those people, whether you like the military and what they do, those people all, in my opinion, deserve way better than we give them. Way better. Which is why Project Help You Grow focuses on trying to help veterans too. But anyways, we've got off topic. Syed, I hope we accomplished your objective, because that wasn't mine. My objective was not to make this Debbie Downer day. I want to brighten the mood. So can we do that? Let's have some fun. So I showed you a picture. Let me show it again, because I think we're off topic now. So let me show it again. So this is number 1. This is number 2. Which do you like better? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk about something more fun. Right. Mike and I talk all the time. And Mike can tell you, he and I we have disagreements, but we handle them like, adults most of the time. Sometimes I just mute them. Come to Tuesdays. Speed networking with Mike and I are on Tuesdays, and you'll see me mute Mike O'Connor. Although I didn't do that last week. Actually, I'm going to 100% disagree with you. 100%. Let's talk about race. If you guys want to get into this, we can. But if you go back and review the answer, and actually you could just go to the subsequent follow-up interviews that people had, he's not racist at all. What he told people in that interview when he was asked, will you condemn white racist groups? He said, absolutely. Which one would you like me to condemn? He's against them all. You can not like people for stuff that they do, but at least make sure that you're being accurate about it. What he said in that debate that people didn't like is he called out Antifa and he called out BLM. And if you go look at their published positions, those are racist positions. So I'm not for Black Lives Matters, the political movement. I am for Black lives. They're very, very important. I think all lives are important. And I know that that can be politically, for some reason, controversial. But Black lives matter 100%. I have Black family 100%. I lived with my Black cousin. You guys know him, Anthony Norman. I lived with him as a child. We were in high school, right? We shared a room for over a year. Anyways, but I don't think Trump is a racist. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. And again, I would just ask you to double check why you think that. This is what you guys should do. If you want some advice, I can see this is the way this is going to go. So that's fine. We'll go there. Here's the deal. Here's a strategy that might help you to not be so politically charged and angry. Okay. Instead of listening to whatever news agency you listen to 100% of the time, you only listen to one voice, one set of voices. Try picking two stations or two sets of channels that you know are coming from the exact opposite political point of view, right? So find a conservative one, find a liberal one, and listen to them 50-50. And the answer will probably never come from one or the other because you know they're biased, right? They're going to give you the liberal point of view. They're going to give you the conservative point of view. And you know that going in. So then what you do after you hear both sides for a while, you start to figure out the answer somewhere in the middle. That's what I do. I used to listen to nothing but Fox News when Fox News came out in 1996, right? I used to listen to nothing but it. But I learned along the way that even though they say they're fair and balanced, and maybe they are more fair and balanced than some other stations, because I actually think that they always try. Like with Hannity and Combs. Hannity was conservative, but Combs was a liberal. And so they had a show where you got both perspectives. And anyways, I think that might be where I got my idea to just go and do this. But I've been doing it for so long now, I can't even tell you. I've been doing it for well over a decade. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not as angry as I used to be. Because they really do. They get paid to charge you up. You have to understand, their job is not news. Their job is entertainment. Their job is to get you charged up because they want to sell advertising. If they can keep you on the station, if they can keep you riled up and interested, is the psychological trick there. You know, if you're passionate about something, you're more likely to pay attention to it, right? You're not going to change channel. That's the idea. Anyways. So there we go. We're going to need the mute button on Tuesday. I always have that thing, brother. It's like DEFCON 3. I'm ready to go. Come on. All right. Oh, we got a vote here for number one. Yeah. So the pictures are pretty similar, which thank you for getting us back to the pictures, by the way, because I didn't come here to talk about politics the whole show. But I will if that's what people want to talk about, I guess. So number one, number two. So for me, for this particular series, I actually do like number two better. But when I took the shots, I liked this one better, which is one of the reasons why I showed it. I actually took about 40 different shots for this photo shoot. But which one do you like better? Tell me why. Okay. Looks like we're still talking politics in the link. We're halfway in. I'm not talking about politics no more. You know why? Because if you read the show description, I was like, let's be happy. Let's make friends. So, but here's the good thing. Reading the comments, I really like the fact that you guys I haven't seen any mudslinging. And I totally get that there are people that are passionate about this, right? And so typically it deteriorates to garbage pretty fast. So thank you guys for not doing that. Appreciate it. But let's have fun. Now, I did more than this. I mean, this is just one thing yesterday. I was going to tell people, it's really funny. Some people go, what's a day in the life of Ira Bowman really like? And I thought, you know what? I was going to make a post about it today, and I might later. But yesterday, I got up early. I was on a meeting, 7:30 a.m., and that meeting went till 9:30. Then I created a video, which if you're not familiar with my videos, well, if you're on my YouTube channel, then you are. But if you're not, I'll bring it up. So I have a YouTube channel. Hang on a second. So this is me. I'm Ira Bowman on YouTube. I will put this. I'll put this in the link or in the comments if you guys want, so that you can subscribe if you like. Let me go up here real quick so you're not looking at me, looking at you, looking at me. That's kind of a weird thing. But anyways, here is the link to my YouTube channel if you want it. Okay. But on it, I actually made a couple videos yesterday. So I made this one. So I'll just let you guys watch it real quick. Hello, everybody. It's another 60 seconds with Bowman Coaching. I'm Ira Bowman, asking you a simple question. Are you winging it? Are you living life by the seat of your pants, moment to moment, making decisions without really having a solid game plan? It's like a ship in the ocean without a rudder, just being tossed to and fro wherever the current will take it. I think it's insane to live that way. I want you, for work, for health, for finances, for relationships, for networking, look, for everything. I want you to have a plan. Now, I'm not saying you have to be rigid. I'm saying I want you to have an outline, a structure, a goal, a course set. Adjust along the way as needed. Of course, you should do that. But have a plan. Need help setting a plan? Need help in general or something specific? Contact me, irabowman.com. Let's set an appointment for you with Bowman Coaching. Let's get you on track. That's 60 seconds with Bowman Coaching, everybody. Have a great day. Okay, so I made that video. I wrote a blog about that. I did a post on that on LinkedIn. I did my photo shoot. Then I did some creative work for my church because we're having a Christmas tree giveaway in December. So I made like a redemption ticket, thing. And I agree with this. I'm going to put this up. You guys are still talking about, politics in the comments, which is cool because, again, you're being civil. But this is what I vote for. I really don't vote for the personality. I mean, if policies were equal, like good or bad, but they were equal, then probably personality would factor in. But likability is not why I vote for politicians. I vote for them because of the policies that I want them to implement, right? And when they don't implement the policies that I voted for them, that makes me irritated, like I am with George Bush. Because George Bush, I voted for him to be a fiscal conservative, and he ended up spending money like he was extremely liberal, and I hated it. And what's funny is liberals didn't even like him for it. It's like, if you took the name off the guy and the letter behind his name off the guy and just looked at the way he actually spent money, he's your best candidate in a long time. Like, he really was a liberal's dream when you look at the way he spent money, right? I know socially he wasn't conservative. Or liberal. He was socially conservative, which is funny because I'm actually more socially liberal That's probably my California and Vegas influence in me. So I am a little bit of an odd duckling when it comes to the way I think politically and every otherwise. If you really get to know me, I'm just strange. But policy, and pardon the expression, policy trumps everything else. But I mean, it just happens to be the word that I would use, right? So it's, to me, it's policy by a million miles, and then everything else comes after. And I don't care about the political affiliation of their party, right? If everybody could be independent and you just voted on the record, I think the way elections would turn out would be actually much different. That's my point on that. But anyways, so yesterday I was really busy, but that is a normal day for me. I made 2 different videos. I edited a website for a couple hours. I designed graphics for my church. I did a photo shoot and some minor editing for my wife. I wrote a blog. And that's just, that's the life of a solopreneur. So I started at 7:30 in the morning. I clocked in at 7:30 in the morning, and I worked until 10:30 p.m. at night. And then I ended up going to bed at midnight because I need time to let my mind wind down. So that's what being a business owner in my house, at least, looks like. Sometimes people want to glorify, like, oh, you own a business now. You have it on easy street. It's like, no, I work really hard. But I worked really hard as an employee too. I'm not trying to say that people who are, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 folks aren't working hard. For me, I never had a real 8 to 5 job anyways. I always put in extra hours. Most of my positions were salary plus commission. So, to make extra commission, you put in extra hours, and that's kind of just the way it worked. So let me ask you this. Raise your hand in the comments. So tell me in the comments, were you laid off? Did you lose your job during the COVID period? I did. I lost my job directly because of COVID-19. I was furloughed in May, officially laid off in June. Now, that sucked. Wasn't in my plan. So did that happen to you? And because I said I started the show, remember the good news, something we can all hopefully agree on, good news. The unemployment rates are going down, meaning more people are getting back to work. Now, the question I want to ask you is, if you have found a job after COVID-19 has started, is it a traditional role? Is it something different for just you? Like, it's a traditional role, but maybe you had to switch industries or change job titles. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing something a little bit different. Or is it completely different, like fractional work or temporary work, or maybe what you would call a bridge gap job, something like that? I'm just curious to see, take the pulse of the people who are watching the show. Now, we don't have a ton of people on right now. We have 12, and probably we scared them all away with the politics talks, if you guys really want to know the truth of it, because usually I'd have more like 30 people on right now. But people don't want to argue. You guys aren't arguing, at least from what I can tell. You're not arguing, which is cool, right? But people don't want to talk about politics in my sphere because I'm usually pretty happy. Right? You don't usually get into the fighting and the controversial stuff. I think there is the discourse needs to happen. So if I can help to, move it in the right direction, that's cool. But by in the right direction, what I mean is learn how to disagree with people, learn how to be civil. Don't follow the example of the people that were on the stage. Don't follow the example of the pundits who would have you believe that, the D or the R is the devil, because it's simply not true. Really what it is just people who are well-intentioned in most cases, who have a different idea of how we should accomplish our goals. For example, healthcare for all Americans is not a liberal or conservative idea. It's an idea that both parties agree on. Both parties do agree on that, whether you like that statement or not. Look it up. They do. The difference is how each party, the management style of how they would go about getting it. And neither one of them has ever done it perfectly. So, it is what it is. People think the Affordable Health Care Act, or what we dubbed Obamacare, was going to do it, but it didn't. You know what it did? It started fining people who didn't have it. That's what really happened, is it put a financial burden on the people who were already financially burdened. And actually, it took away because, well, it's a math thing. I'd have to explain to you some basic economics, some principles of economics. But when you have these price systems set up like insurance, they're based on a couple different things. Most people understand about the risk factors, they get that. But what they don't understand is the purchase rates are based on how many people are buying in. So when you have states who usurp the membership roles in part or in whole of these plans, what happens is they start to crumble because they've lost part of the foundation, which is the numbers that they were built on. So now the costs of those go up. People that are on them can no longer afford to be on them. And now people that could have stayed on, if the price not changed, now can no longer afford to stay on them because the price increased. And that's how the privatization of insurance is affected by trying to have a global or a more global government option, is when they create their own vehicles, which they did. They didn't go and just buy plans of existing providers, and that undercut the existing providers. Now, again, not everybody watching this show will agree that that's a bad thing. Some people will think that's actually a good thing, and that's fine. Look, you're totally entitled to your opinions, but that's the crux of the Democrat versus the Republican positions, is instead of implementing a privatization, or I'm sorry, a public entity to do what private entities have already established in doings, right? So it's philosophy. It's business philosophy or business strategy, and that's a difference of opinion. It doesn't make one side or the other evil, especially if you look at the heart of what they're trying to accomplish. Again, you can make an economic case for both sides if you're being intellectually honest about it. Either way could work. One of the things that drives me nuts is when we go back and forth. It's like, well, let's pick a direction, let's pick a management style, and let's stick with that for a while. Because the yo-yo effect of, well, every 8 years we vote for the other party, and then they spend 4 years just undoing what the other party just spent 8 years building up. It seems to me crazy, but that's what happens if you go and look at the history of how we vote. We get frustrated, like we glorify. It's like, I'm going to take this to a sports analogy and get off politics for a second, but it's like the most popular person on a football team is the backup quarterback. Why not the starting quarterback? Because the starting quarterback's the one throwing the interceptions, and the one who's throwing the incompletions, and the one who got, sacked, right? I mean, the point is the player that isn't in the game, who looks really good, starts to look really good, starts to look better than the people actually in the game doing the work. It's almost easier now, although it's funny because in this election we have the opposite, but go back just the last few series of elections and you'll see it's almost easier for the people with no political experience, including Trump, frankly, up until, he was elected president, but no political experience at all, because there's no record for people to go, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. I mean, we saw it in the campaign or in the debate. We saw, Biden picking on Trump for his 3.5 years of not getting whatever Biden thought Trump should get done. And then what did Trump do? He retorted, well, you've been in politics for 47 years and I've gotten more done in 47 months and you've gotten done in 47 years, which, again, the validity of those statements is not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the people who aren't doing it seem to be more appealing to us, whether that's sports or politics or anything else. It's like the affinities that you might have for an ex, right? You think back to an old high school sweetheart 30 years ago, and you've built them up in your mind to be some magical thing, and in reality, you broke up with them. They broke up with you for a reason, right? like you broke up. You're not together anymore. But you've glorified them in your mind. This is what happens in politics. This is what happens in almost everything. So, what I would tell you is I used to be upset at liberals, honestly, because I was listening to nothing but conservative um, news outlets. And then about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, somewhere in there, like I said, I don't know if it was the Hannity and Combs show that was on Fox News or what it was, but somewhere in my mind, I got it in my mind that, you know what, I need to listen to both sides of the coin and then make a decision or a determination, if you will, on every topic based on, all the input I could get and do my own research too. Every media outlet has a bias. Every single one of them does. So if you think that you're listening to somebody who doesn't have a bias, including me, I have a bias too. I'm a fiscal conservative. So if you're coming to me about financial advice, economic advice, you're getting conservative bias. I'm a social liberal. I believe in gay rights. I believe in freedoms for all, for minorities. So social issues. I'm a liberal. I know I'm an anomaly, and I just pissed off everybody. That's fine. Okay, but here's the thing. So depending on what issue even you're listening to me about, you're going to get a bias. Now, I'm not doing it out of spite or hate or manipulation or anything else. I'm just giving you how I really think based on what I've studied and what I've heard over the years and my personal experiences. I make no apologies for that. We live in America. Well, I do. And I have that freedom as of now. And I love having a show where I can talk about it. But everybody has a bias. You have bias in itself isn't bad. It just means that's the way you lean on things. That's your preference. If you really examine your own self and look in the mirror, you have biases too. You may not have identified them, right? You might be a liberal in the way you vote, but super conservative with your money. And I'll bet you there's a lot more of you like that than would admit it in public. But conservative is not Republican, and liberal is not Democrat. And that's another thing that people have to stop doing. Like if I use the word conservative, it doesn't mean I'm championing something for Republicans. And liberal is not a word owned by Democrats. You know what I mean? Like this is again, we have to be a little bit less easy to manipulate by people who want to just manipulate us. Nicole is here. Nicole, I actually connected with Nicole this week. I'm going to tell you why. So on LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me, it's almost impossible. Nearly impossible. Because there's a limit, right? You can only have so many connections. And they have that same limit on Facebook, although it's much smaller. On Facebook, you can have 5,000 first degree friends. That's what they call them, friends. They're not always friendly, but that's what they call them on Facebook. On LinkedIn, we call them connections, probably more apt description. But anyways, the limit is 30,000. Now, I've been at the 30,000 limit for a long time. So I get connection requests every day. Not as many as I used to. The whole algorithm thing for me has slowed way down, by the way. I don't know if you guys have noticed the same thing, but like number of follower growth, connection requests, views, comment, shares, all of it, just across the board. Like I hit the frozen tundra. And I don't know if you guys are experiencing the same thing or not. I think everybody is, but maybe you're not. If you're not, good for you. But for me, I have. So anyways, every time I go live, I run the risk of irritating somebody that I'm connected with. Somebody like, I don't want to get that notification anymore. Fine. Bye-bye. So I had one of those. So somebody left me. Fine. And I have, I think, 4,400 or 4,300, something like that, people sitting in my queue waiting to join my network. Nicole Crowley was not one of those people. At least if she was so far back I didn't recognize it. Right? I didn't know. So, anyways, I made a post about speed networking. Mike's in the comments. You can say hi to Mike O'Connor. So Mike and I have a show. It's weekly. It's a networking event where you can come for free and meet. We've had 25 people or so show up, to these events. And so we all sit at tables of up to six each, and we talk about different things throughout the event. And we've just implemented this 30-second introduction thing, which some people got a little bit more than that because I like them, or basically I talk over people. They give them extra time. But anyways, Nicole did something that I really appreciated. She commented on a post and she invited other people in the comment. And I thought, you know what? I really appreciated that. I'm going to show her that I appreciate it by sending her a connection request. So even though there is a way, and it's really hard to get me to connect with you on LinkedIn, first degree, I follow everybody. And that's the point of following me live, by the way. If anybody's in the comments and we're not following each other, follow me. I'll follow you back. No problem. But Nicole and I are now first degree connected because A, she had gone to a networking event before. B, I'd seen her in my comments before. I know who she was. And then because she showed me that she was willing to do what Mike and I have termed win-win networking. So we have a hashtag win-win networking, which I think Mike created it, but I made it better. Anyways, whatever. I made it, Mike. Quit copying me, you jerk. Anyways. Oh, no. Why would you do that? Your feed is about to get ugly, Sonia. Yup. There you go. Yeah, I like introducing people too, right? I created Project Help You Grow. I created the group. All this stuff was with my one desire. And maybe this will help wrap everything up for you guys if you're wondering what's going on. In my mind, I'm kind of tired of the nastiness that I see all over the place, right? I don't want to see it. Like if I see you celebrating that President Trump got COVID, we're probably not going to stay connected. I'm probably just going to go unfollow you, unfriend you, and delete you, because I can't imagine a scenario where it should be a good thing to anybody that somebody got a potentially deadly disease, right? And then when you consider, like when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school, we were taught to revere the position the person held and hold them with respect, whether we liked them or agreed with them or whatever, right? So, like, I can only go back to, well, the earliest Democrat that I remember being in power is Clinton, because I was alive during Carter, but I wasn't cognizant of politics during Carter, if that makes sense, right? So I grew up with Reagan and Bush, right? And they were both Republicans. So for that 12-year span, and then in 92, was it, right? With Clinton. That was my first taste of a Democrat president. So I couldn't see myself ever being excited that Bill Clinton or Barack Obama got COVID-19. In fact, I would think that's disgusting, deplorable. And so if people really feel that way, then I just don't want to be associated with you. I don't want to, you know what I mean? But I would say it on both feet. I don't like it when I wouldn't stand for people making stupid comments about Obama either. Or, right now it seems like in my circle, I see Pelosi comments on the other side. Not so much Biden. Although now with the campaign, I guess maybe more. I see more, especially with this whole groping meme or whatever that is, or, where he's like, they've put a string together of him making incoherent statements and it seems like he's out of it. But I'm like, I've seen those about Trump too. So you can make that argument both ways, right? I mean, Trump has said some of the stupidest things probably in the history of politics. And That's true. I mean, I'm not trying to slam Trump. I'm just trying to be honest. He said some really, really stupid things. And I think it was Mike or somebody said, I've given up trying to figure out what he actually means when he says stuff because a lot of times what he says is to me unintelligible. Maybe, maybe if I was smarter, I would understand what he was saying sometimes, but I really don't, I don't get it. So, anyways, let's not be excited when other people fail. Let's cheer people on for what they do right. And it's okay to talk about when people let us down. I'm not saying that. But let's not make them into monsters, right? Anyways. Hi Dana. From Italy. Where in Italy, Dana? What time is it there? Is it let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Is it 4 p.m.? That's my guess. It's 4 p.m. in Italy. Let me know if I'm right. Nasty is nasty. I don't do nasty. Yeah, nasty is nasty. That's right. That's why I like, okay, we have SPN, Service Professionals Network. If you don't know, Service Professionals Network was cloned with the idea, like, there was Project Help You Grow and SPN didn't exist. This is what I've heard, right? And then Mike made SPN to try to copy 100% copy Project Help You Grow, like verbatim. Why would you do that, Mike? That's so rude. This is what I call revisionist history. People will believe anything, which is it's funny because if it wasn't for SPN, Project Help You Grow wouldn't exist because I didn't know that I had a different mindset. It wasn't that Mike and I sat down and say, "Hey, what can you do to create a platform that would complement mine and help you build your presence on social media." That's not what we talked about at all. We had a conversation about how LinkedIn worked and why it would be better for me to grow. And then from that, I came up with Project Help You Grow. And truth be told, Mike will remember this. He was not excited about me creating Project Help You Grow. He was against it at first because he thought that well, I don't know exactly what he thought. I don't want to speak for him. But anyways, he didn't think it was going to work. He thought I was going to like basically fall off the SPN thing. And anyways, it's not what happened, obviously. But now this comment is about him copying Project Help You Grow, which is, I just totally fabricated that. That's not true. But a lot of people think that, right? It's funny. Mike and I are friends, guys. If you don't know this about Mike and I, then you don't know us. But Mike and Ira, we talk all the time. So we're not the same people. We have some friends that don't like each other. In fact, we have some of our friends that don't like, him, and some of his friends don't like me, and it is what it is. But we like each other and we talk all the time. And no, I'm not copying SPN, and Mike is not copying Project Help You Grow either. But they fit hand in glove, which is kind of nice. So you can be a part of both. You should be a part of both. Whether you're a job seeker, an employer, just a person who has a blog somewhere. I mean, if you have anything in life that you're trying to promote online, you should have a profile with your website links on both sites. And you're going to be very hard pressed to find a free place that you can do that gives you more bang for your buck. It's free, but anyways, there's a lot of value. I have my businesses listed on Service Professionals Network. I have my blogs. I have my YouTube channel. I have Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, all of it. It's all there. And Mike, because he's my friend, actually gave you a place to boost your Project Help You Grow profile in your Service Professionals Network profile. So that's super cool. I got rid of people that don't like her. See, this is where he's better than me. I just let him ride. If you don't like Mike O'Connor, join the club. I'm going to have to join Project Help You Grow today. Yeah, it's a smart thing to do. Look, Project Help You Grow, if you guys aren't familiar with it, I can get on it real quick and show you. I usually actually have a session open, but I don't right now. ProjectHelpYouGrow.com it's a job board, but it's so much more than just a job board. I mean, that's really the job board I did only because Most people won't come visit a job site without job listings. But here's the deal. It's my website. First of all, there are no ads. Okay. There's no pop-ups. There's no shopping cart. No place for you to input any of your. That's funny. I just noticed this picture doesn't line up. I'll have to fix that. Anyways, there's no place for you to put any financial information or whatever you might want, right? So what is it? It is a bridge. Think of it this way. It's a bridge for me to help job seekers connect to recruiters and employers for free. I don't charge anybody anything, not the recruiters, not the employers, certainly not the job seekers. So what do I have? You can create a profile. And if you create a profile, we'll come back to that in a second, it's going to help boost your profile on Google. Okay. So more people will be able to find you easier, but also the recruiters and the employers can find you. You can post jobs if you're a recruiter or employer. Again, you can search for jobs if you're a job seeker, all free. Now, here's where the value really starts to come in for me. If you are looking for a job and you've been looking for a job for a while, the odds are that you need some strategy adjustment. There's something that you are doing. There we go. I don't know why it's not switching over. There's something that you're doing that's probably not keeping you from, or that's preventing you from being successful. So I have written all these different posts. Now I do have a couple guest blog contributors, if you will, but most of them I've written myself. For example, the power of informational interviews. What is an informational interview? I teach you what it is and how to do it in this article. Again, you don't have to have an account to view this. You can just go to the website, no account needed, and read any of these blogs. What is fractional work? How do you write a cover letter? I give you in this is my latest one, so I'll just open it up real quick. But in this blog, I not only show you or tell you what to do, I give you an example of one. So I break it down. So I give you the formula, which consists of 4 parts. The introduction, the second part is why you want to work for the company. The third part is how you would specifically fill the role. And then the conclusion includes a request for the interview, which a lot of people don't do, which is crazy to me, but it happens all the time. So then I give you the sections. I give you, examples of how to do each section. And then at the end, I give you a sample of the actual cover letter. Okay. Now, if you don't like to read, I've got it also in video form right here too. So you can watch that. Okay. And if you don't like to read at all, you can just go to podcasts. Now, the podcasts don't have all the same information, but it has a lot of the same information. So watch these podcasts. They're video versions. They're all usually somewhere between, I think my shortest one is 7 minutes. And I think the longest one is like 15 minutes. But you can just scroll through and read them, like how to find a job in a foreign country. COVID-19 advice with Tina Pereira, right? COVID-19 advice with Michelle Trano. Michelle is from the United States. Tina is from Europe. Overcoming stress with Professor Pete. A better mental mindset with Megan Marini. All kinds of different stuff. Interview tips, issues and advice on LinkedIn, adapting trends with Rob Deford. I mean, you could just go on and on. Winning the interview with Courtney Kirschbaum from Job Hunt School, conquering the ATS with John Pohl, right? A balanced approach with Norma Craft, just on and on and on. And again, this stuff is all free. You don't have to log in. You don't have to have an account. There's no place, like I said, you're not spending any money. There's no advertisements, none of that stuff. This is Project Help You Grow. So if you guys are, actually, let me come back one more thing. Okay. So if we go candidates, I call them candidates, but not everybody on here is an actual candidate. So when you sign up, I'm going to bring up my wife. Here's my wife as an example. Okay. So when you come on to this and you're not a job seeker, what you do is you just answer the question, job seeker or no. But then you can put your URLs. Like my wife has a website. Here it is. It's AliciaBowman.Cincy. Now we can open this up. Let me click on it. And now this takes you to her business. She's got products for sale. So because she has that link in Project Help You Grow, and Project Help You Grow's domain authority is a 50, this helps boost her in the in the Google search results. So if you were to go to Google and type in Scentsy, she's going to be higher on the list because she made a profile. You see? So this is where I say, if you have a blog or a YouTube channel, or, you just want to make it easy for people to find you anywhere you are online, you can do that on both Project Help You Grow and Service Professionals Network. Look, Service Professionals Network has a really high domain authority too. The last time I checked, it was 38. But most websites score somewhere between an 8 and a 13. So you're talking about one that has 3 and one that has 4 times the average domain authority, and that boosts you way up. Most people, if they will create a profile on Project Help You Grow and they do a Google search on their name, they're going to find the number one result is their LinkedIn profile. Usually that's the number one result they'll find. The number 2 result they're going to find usually is their Project Help You Grow profile. And that's true for so many people. It helps to give you a boost. So again, it's free. And the other thing that's cool about Project Help You Grow, and this is partly because I don't have time and partly because I just don't need the extra cash, although I could use extra cash, but not this bad to sell out my integrity. I never have ever done third-party information sales. I get people who ask me for Project Help You Grow's database all the time. All the time. I've never shared it with anybody, ever, for any reason. I've never given access to anybody to my database. So if you create a user profile, you're not going to get any spam messages from anybody, not even me. I don't have an automated email anything. I don't automate anything anywhere, ever. I get hit on every day for people, hey, you should automate. Yeah, maybe. No thanks. I'm a real person. It's one of the reasons why I'm at 200,000 and not 2 million, because I treat you all like real people, because to me, you are real people, right? You're not ends to a means. I'm not looking at you as a way to make my next sale. I know how to do my own sales work. You know what I mean? So anyways, that's Project Help You Grow. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a job board. It's there to help you with strategy. It's there to help you boost your profile visibility, if that's what you want. Jobs, recruiters or employers who have jobs to fill can post their job listings for free. They can go search through the candidate listings for free. They can hire people for free. Again, it's all free. I even have a partners tab on there where I put my friends' business pages on the website, linking to their website, and I do that for free. I have one sponsor, one paid sponsor. The paid sponsor is Panna Knows. She sends me money every month. She has for about a year now. And it's awesome. I really appreciate it. But I didn't ask her to do it. She volunteered to do it. And, I appreciate it. Because I do have to spend money every month to run Project Help You Grow. It costs me money. It actually costs me far more in time than it does in money. But it's still, it's an expense every month that I pay. I don't have a GoFundMe. I have my pocketbook, and then I have the little sponsorship that I get from Panna Knows. And so that's what it is. So anyways, sometimes people go, well, how do you make money off of that? I don't. I make money off Bowman Digital Media and Bowman Coaching. Now, I'm not saying the Project Help You Grow hasn't helped me, of course, by doing all the work, and that's helped people to get a glimpse at my heart. I call it philanthropy or ministry. Some people call it altruism. You can call it whatever you want, but I like to help people. So people have seen that because of Project Help You Grow. So I guess it's helped me in that way, but directly, no, I don't make money off it. My phone dies every time he starts talking about SPN. Every time. Quit using products made by Mattel, Michael O'Connor. Come to Speed Networking with Mike and Ira, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I like to automate. Yep. I'm not an automate. If you ever get a message from me, if you ever see a comment from me, if you ever get a friendship request from me, an email from me. Whatever you get or see with my name next to it, that was me. I don't use a VA. I don't have a secretary. It's just me. So, anyways. Oh, it's my pleasure, Dana. Yeah, nobody has. Now, I did have one newsletter back in December of 2018 that I did. And I sent that out as an email to people that had joined. But that wasn't, I mean, there was nothing. Yeah, 100% agree with that. So, yeah, now I do send out emails to people, but on Project Help You Grow, usually it's people who have emailed me first and they've asked me a question or for assistance. The number one thing that I get from people actually is, hey, I found a job. Can you now remove my profile for me? And I respond. I actually have a template that I use for this response because I've written it thousands of times. So the email comes from me. The words I didn't type at the moment that I'm sending it to. But what I do is I let people know, like, well, no, I don't actually delete your account because I didn't create your account. You can delete it yourself anytime you want. And I tell them how they can do that. But then I also let them know what I just said. Like, you can change the job seeker status to no, and then keep that boost for all your social media profiles if you want. A lot of people don't understand that that's an advantage that they get, a benefit that they get from the website. It's like not the reason they came, but it is a benefit. So I let people know, like, hey, you can delete it, sure, anytime you want. It won't hurt my feelings. I don't make any money from it, so I don't care. If I have 15,000 users or 3,000 users, I don't make any extra money because there's no ads. You see, that's why that's important, because I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any of this to make money. So if you like it and it helps you, great. If you don't like it and you don't think it'll help you, then don't use it. It's okay. But anyways, I just try to let people know the advantages outside of the job candidate listing itself. But here's another thing I'll tell you. It's better for you to keep a Project Help You Grow profile even when you are employed, for the event that you don't know. I had no idea in May that I was going to be furloughed. Zero. In fact, I thought that I might get furloughed in April. It didn't happen. And then I was actually told it wasn't going to happen. And then it did happen. My boss actually, I don't know if he lied to me on purpose, but he actually made a contradiction in statement. And I was highly disappointed. Then when I was furloughed, I was told, don't worry, in 30 days, we're bringing you back. Fully intend to bring you back after 30 days. Okay, great. So I didn't go look for a job. Then the next time I talked to his boss, not even him, I was laid off. My boss didn't call me. My boss's boss called me. I never heard from my boss. I was laid off, no longer employed by the company. And I've never, not an email, not a text, not a phone call. I even sent them an email letting them know how I'd returned their property, and no response to that. That, to me, that's doing somebody dirty. But anyways, my point is, if you keep your Project Help You Grow profile active, job seeker status no, you might be doing yourself a favor. Have yourself like a head start in case something like what just happened to me happens to you. Now, I'm thankful that I was able to launch Bowman Digital Media, and but not everybody's in a position where they can do that. So anyways, hopefully all that helps. Don't know if this it's not a Fisher Price phone, it's Mattel. Paul, get it straight. Anyways, I love picking on Mike. I can't wait for us to be an app. Now this, guys, if you haven't heard about this yet, this is exciting news. I hear it works with Mattel phones too, Mike. But it's going to work for Android and for Apple. So if you have the iOS or the Android, you're going to be good. Just got to go to the appropriate store to pick it up. But it's supposed to hit next week. And I believe that we're going to see a surge of new users because it'll be in the App Store. It's something that I've been wanting to do for Project Help You Grow for a long time, but I can't justify the financial expense to get it done. So, anyways, it is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, I'm over my time. So, Follow Me Live is a show that I do every Friday. We have some fun. We tease each other in the comments. Usually, you can see how it goes. I want to thank you guys for keeping the politic conversation friendly and above board. I mean, that's what I do, and I appreciate it when others do it too. So thank you all for that. If you don't know right now, yeah, me too. I'm right there with you, Sony. He's like, I got one for Android. I'm like, that doesn't help me out. Anyways, iPhone. It's all about the iPhone. Anyways, this is why our phones work, Mike, in my ears is crashing because you're not using a good phone. Anyhow, that's a war we could start right here on the show. Apple or Android? What you got, right? Are you using a Galaxy, whatever they're on now, or you got the iPhone 11? I've got an iPhone 11 Max Pro right here, and I love it. It is phenomenal. So love the camera. I'm in the digital media business, obviously. So for me, the camera was super important. But I just really I like the iOS. I've used both. I had, in full disclosure, I had a Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy for years, a couple different versions. Really liked them. Had no complaints. Was forced to switch to the Apple by an employer who provided the cell phone as part of my thing, and they really do that so they can control the information, keep the phone number and all the calls that come with it when you leave, right? That's really what it is, even though no one admits it. But that's why they pay for your phone, because they want to control the data after they're done with you or you're done with them. But anyways, I had an employer that switched me over to Apple, and then from that point on, it seems like all the employers were using Sprint, which I hate because their service sucks, and iPhones. And they usually weren't giving me the pluses. They were giving me the ones they couldn't sell, because who in the right mind would buy the regular one and not the plus? So all that stuff. But over the years, I just really have gotten used to it. I like it. It's stable. Anyways, I don't know if it's better or not, but I like it better. I do know that. Yeah, look at this guy. So many phone snobs. Right. And you can't argue with my logic, bro. You're the only one crashing because you're the only one not on an iPhone. Dang. Later, Maple Syrup. Got something for you coming in a Follow Me Friday post. So you want to see me tease my friend Paula Goodman, come to Follow Me Friday, which starts in 10 minutes. What is it? Here's what it is. If you want to build your LinkedIn profile, all you need to do is come every Friday, and there's 3 things you have to do to grow. I think people miss it, and I keep trying to explain it in the post. I think I'm going to stop because it eats up too much of my characters. We have a character limit on how much we can say in a post. You can say as much as you want in comments, but in a post, you only got you got so many words. So yes, and this is why it doesn't work. I'm not saying it's cheaper. I'm saying it doesn't work. I didn't even notice you were gone, my brother. And she says, oh gosh. Look, she has done this thing with me doing this, singing, which was, I was on the lake, in full disclosure, just so you know the real story. I was on the lake. We rented a boat. I was on the lake with my kids, and it had a stereo in it. And so I put on some music. Oh, you know what it was? It was mariachi music. Full disclosure, it was mariachi music. And another thing many of you probably don't know about me, I speak Spanish. And so I was singing along with the radio, and my kids were all it was totally fun. We were having a lot of fun. And so in that moment, I look ridiculous. That's fine. I'm not a handsome man anyways. But we were having a blast. And Paula has chosen to take that, and my wife, who are both trolls, by the way, Paula Goodman, Alicia Bowman, Mike O'Connor, all 3 trolls. 1, 2, 3, like peas in the pod, the trolls. So Paula was doing this shirt thing, putting different, and she's been kind of nice about it, but still trolling me. Anyways, and then the hashtag my wife came up with, which Mike adopted too. It's Ira's fault. Or it's all Ira's fault. I don't know. Something like that. Whatever. They're so mean to me. So today, It's Retribution Day. It's time to get you, Paula. So come see what I'm going to do to Paula. Come build your network. But in the post, what you want to do is 3 things. You want to do an introduction, just say who you are, where you're from. You want to view the profiles of folks and hit the follow button while you're there. Then you want to respond to their comments as you see them and say, hey, I followed you. Would you follow me back? That's the socially polite thing to do. You can even ask them at that point, hey, I followed you. Are you willing to connect? You could do that. And then the third thing I suggest people do, so you're busy in the comments, but then come back. Because if 10,000 people come an hour after you, you're not going to see any of their stuff. You're not going to get to grow with them. So come back. So, I mean, I know you can't sit there in the comments all day. You've got stuff to do. Totally get it. But come back when you can, right? So like, it starts now. You come back in a few hours. Maybe you come back this evening and maybe you come back tomorrow. I get a lot of activity on Follow Me Friday on Saturdays, just so you know. Not as much on Sundays. It does start to die out on Sundays. But usually Saturdays is still pretty good. And what kind of volumes are we talking about? Usually somewhere between 100,000 and 150,000 people over, the average of this event, which has gone on week in and week out for well over a year now. It's the largest networking event on LinkedIn that there is, week in and week out. I don't know of anyone that's bigger. I'm sure there are one-off events that happen that are bigger, but this one, it's called #FollowMe. It happens every Friday. And it's the largest weekly networking event that I know of. It's not even close. So join it. Build your network. Make some new friends. That's the whole point. Put social back in social media, people. That's my goal. Anyways, my name is Ira Bowman. It has been a blast hanging out with you today. I hope y'all have a great week. And if I can help you with anything, you can send me a direct message on LinkedIn. Follow me on YouTube. Find me on Facebook. Bowman Digital Media has a business page on Facebook. Would love the support there. And I need more subscribers on YouTube. I put out a video or 2 every day. So if you are looking for content on YouTube, I create what I think are pretty interesting, funny videos every day. Check them out. Give me some likes and some comments. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day. You troll. I'm not telling you. You can pee outside.